Hey, I don't remember this line from the movie. Oh, okay. Orion is bankrupt now. That's my butt. I think
your butt?
That's it right there. We should talk a little bit about how you came to direct this movie. As I remember it, since you were my manager, you carefully looked at all the directors available for this project, and after giving it a lot of thought, you decided the best choice would be you!
Well, the fact is, nobody else wanted to do it, you know?
Anyway, at the time I thought having you as a director made sense because you wrote the script with me, so you were already familiar with the story and the characters and the gags. Plus, I knew that if we ever had a creative disagreement on the set, I would easily be able to beat the living crap out of you.
Yep.
I remember once during Wheel of Fish, I had you in a headlock and you were starting to pass out a little bit. Oh, okay, watch this. You'll notice that the guy's left arm falls off, but on the ground, it's his right arm! How'd that happen? I guess.
He was never the same after that.
No. I guess there was some kind of communication mix-up between you and the prop department. They had rigged the left arm sleeve to fall off, but they supplied us with a fake right hand. And we didn't have time to reshoot it, so, well, I guess we needed something for the gaff watchers to spot anyway.
How are you remembering these things?
I was there!
You know, it feels like it was only 12 years ago.
Now, these aren't real cobwebs.
No, there are actually thousands of professionally trained spiders that we had, you know, to create that.
That's where the budget went.
That's right.
You know, one of the scenes that got cut out of here was me hearing a phone ringing, a payphone ringing on the side of the wall, and I pick it up, and there's a voice going, "No, don't go in there! No, don't go in there! No!"
Yeah, what happened to that?
That's gone. Not wacky enough.
Oh, man.
Francis Ford Coppola came to the set when we were shooting this, remember? He'd just done a Tucker, and he wanted to check out Intervision.
Yeah.
And he was hanging out. That was
Yeah.
cool. Stunt guy! We had a whole series of these gags, some of which we shot and some of which we didn't. I think in the original script we had me like running through a crowded department store while the ball follows me down the escalator. I think I ate about 7 Twinkie Wiener sandwiches during the course of this scene. I didn't turn vegetarian until a couple years later.
Uh-oh, here comes a reference.
Yeah. This is a reference to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I know that 98% of you right now are going, "No, duh!" But I still want to try to point out even the obvious TV and movie references, just in case there's any Amish people out there that just got a DVD player.
This is important.
Oh, this dog right here, this was a professionally trained dog, but for whatever reason, we could never get it to do what it was supposed to do. The idea here was that the dog was supposed to do like a little dance on his hind legs and jump into the punch bowl.
I mean, what dog wouldn't do that?
What dog wouldn't want to do that? And we did take after take after take, and the dog just wouldn't, you know, hit his mark. And we were running out of time, so finally, I just threw the dog in the punch bowl, and that seemed to work.
Works for me.
I'm Philo.
When Anthony came in to read for the role, we had doubts, to say the least. We weren't really looking for a soap opera star to play Philo. We were looking at, you know, more odd types. In fact, we had offered the role to Joel Hodgson, who at the time was kind of a madcap inventor, stand-up comedian. But he said he was just kind of burnt out on showbiz, and he turned it down. Of course, a couple of years later, he went on to create Mystery Science Theater 3000. Coming up here, Crazy Ernie. This is John Cadenhead. And oddly enough, we were talking about casting a Crispin Glover in the movie, and we thought he'd be good for Philo, and he read the script, and he said that the only part that he would be interested in playing was Crazy Ernie. And we loved Crispin, but we just somehow couldn't see him in the role, so we had to pass on that. And Michael Richards. You never really heard much about him after UHF. He just kind of dropped off the map, didn't he? It was a shame. He's a funny guy. And there's Francis M. Carlson playing the old blind man with a Rubik's Cube. It's kind of a shame because he got typecast as blind man with a Rubik's Cube and he could never find work again after that. Ah, there's Emo Phillips. I wonder whatever happened to him.
I'm right behind you.
Oh! Oh! Hi, Emo.
Hello.
Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, I've always regretted the scene you cut. You know, that introduction scene where I explained that I was a shop teacher?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know, I've got it memorized. Do you want to just perform it with me right now?
Yes.
Okay. You know, back when I was in high school, the stereotype was that shop class was for people who were less intellectually gifted. But you know, last weekend I was trying to make a bookcase and, well, it made me wish that I had taken shop.
Why?
And scene.
Bravo, Al!
Thank you, thank you. You know, Ema, I was actually getting a lot of pressure from the studio to cut you out of the movie, because this scene and the scene with the poodles flying out the window are the reason we got a PG-13. But those are two of my favorite scenes, so I just couldn't cut them out.
Good for you. Don't let the man keep you down. This was the highlight of my career. And thank you so much for hiring that microsurgeon.
Well, you know, it would have been cheaper and easier just to use special effects. We could.
No, I'm not that kind of an actor. I'm a methadone actor. I bleed for my art.
Well, on behalf of emophiliacs everywhere, thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you. Could you validate my parking?
So since this was the first stuff we shot, these were the first dailies that Orion saw. So they have this new movie and all they're seeing is like shots of people admiring spatulas. I think they were a little concerned at the time. The Spatula City billboard, this was at Memorial Drive and Broken Arrow Expressway. And we just had it there for that one shot, but for some reason they left it up there all summer long. Anybody driving down the freeway that whole summer saw the billboard for Spatula City, and they'd like be looking for it on the off-ramp.
Gift of a spatula.
Because of this scene, I always get spatulas from fans when I go on the road. And in fact, I met a couple that had spatulas tattooed on their abdomens as a sign for eternal love for each other. And I hear that they broke up shortly afterwards.
In the yellow pages under
At a little UHF station in New Jersey.
Now, a lot of people probably think that kid really spit on me, but actually, that was an incredible optical effect done by Industrial Light and Magic using the latest digital imaging software. Half of our budget for the movie went for that.
Oh, that's where it went.
Look at Mr. Frying Pan.
I actually busted David Bowie's lip in that shot. So that's a real reaction. He's not he's not too happy right now. He's actually bleeding.
And I know you're hungry, aren't you?
The set design, this must have been tough for you, Jay, because it's a fine line between looking authentic like a, low-budget TV station and
Just
looking
looking cheap.
Right?
Yes, it's always walking that fine line.
Walking that fine line. You might recognize the cameraman in this scene. He's Lou B. Washington, or Ludi Washington. I'm not really sure. I think there was some kind of question about his end credit, but he was in the Fat video. He was at the very beginning taunting me, saying, "Are you fat or what?"
And yo, homeboy.
His actual name in the script was Burt Reynolds, but we never mentioned him by name, so...
That's funny.
You remember that? We had a bunch of extras that agreed to be buried with just their arms and legs sticking out of the ground. We had to pay him extra that day.
always plenty of free parking
Just kidding!
to visit our
We paid him what we always pay him. Now, before we knew Mark Knopfler was going to get involved, I had my regular guitar player Jim West lay down the guitar track. And the ironic thing is, Jim's track sounded more like the original Money for Nothing than Mark Knopfler's did. That's because Jim was painstakingly copying every note from the original record, and Mark's version had a looser feel because he'd been playing the song on the road for a while. Obviously, we used Mark's version because you just can't copy that Mark Knopfler feel. The first time I did a parody of the Beverly Hillbillies theme song, I matched it up with the Rolling Stones' Miss You. I used to play that in concert at college coffee houses. And originally, when we were doing the movie, we wanted to match it up with Prince's Let's Go Crazy, but Prince has never been a fan. The song had lines like, "But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. Syndication. A world of never-ending residuals where you can watch the reruns day and night. So when you call up that bank in Beverly Hills, went on and on like that." We had to name that song Money for Nothing / Beverly Hillbillies * because the lawyers told us that had to be the name. Those wacky lawyers. What you gonna do?
I never should have taken this job.
This is heavy drama here. It's very heavy.
Should have known it would turn out like all the others.
For a short time there,
I'm feeling my sense memory.
be different.
I'm thinking of when my dog died.
I just don't know anymore.
At least I've still got Terry.
Ba ba ba.
What time is it?